Hello team, today's challenge is browser history, where we're given an array of instructions, which are either a URL, a literal back, or a literal forward, and we need to create a back and forth history, not the true browser history, but the back button and the forward button, right? We need to take care of that. So moving back and forward, we get this history as well as the index that we are currently sitting at. So FreeCodeCamp.org and then to /learn. And then we go back. So we actually get both of these because we haven't changed anything. But our index is the first one. It's the 0 index. Okay. There is some branching logic. So if we look at example 3 here, right, we have example.com/about. And then we go back, which is example.com, at which point we go to /contact and then /blog. So our array reflects that, where it has the .com/contact/blog /about. It's like it never existed, because in the back and forward, we can no longer get there, right? We could do it through our true browser history, but not through the back and forward button, okay? And that's what we're trying to do today. So we're going to take care of all of this right here. Now for this, I'm going to use a class. And a class allows us two things. It allows us to maintain state for what we're doing. It also allows us to have multiple tabs, multiple windows, and each one of those can have their own back and forward state, right? Which is pretty handy. Very, very handy. So I'm going to call this tab history. Maybe that should be window history. I don't know. Tab history feels right. And we are going to set up some private properties, okay? The hash mark is a private property, so we will not be able to access this outside of the instantiated class. Instead, we'll only be able to change this using the methods inside of this class. Okay, we're going to start out at -1 because there is no index yet. Seems like a good safe place. Okay. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to set up our actual history as a private property and set it to an empty array. Again, there's nothing in there. Okay, and in fact, at this point, we would normally add a constructor and do some stuff, right? Just like this. But what are we doing today, right? It's all happening after the fact. So there is no constructor for this one, and we get one by default, which is really handy. That default one also does nothing. So this one would do nothing, and that one does nothing. Pretty handy, okay? From here, we have a go method that's going to take our URL. Brilliant. Just like this. We have a forward method that's going to be right here. We also have a back, just like this. And I think, I'm pretty sure I added back first when I did this. Doesn't actually matter. It's just helping me organize it in my head, okay? So go, back, forward. Brilliant. The last two things I want to set up are getters, okay? So this is going to be get index. Not like that. Let's set it up right. Perfect. Okay. And in here we return this dot sharp or number sign or whatever you're calling it, right? Index. Okay. And we do the same thing for history, just like this, which is return this dot number sign history. Excellent. And what these allow us to do is down here, we can actually do that now. Let's set up our tab. It's going to be new tab history, just like this. And on there, we could actually access tab.index, right? And that would fire off this. Notice that we don't have those parentheses, right? Because it's a getter. So it works just like, just as if it was an actual property, right? So it calls index and returns whatever the value of this dot number sign index is, right? And the same with history. So down here, we can go and do that really fast, which is tab.history and tab.index. When we're done, it's going to fill these in and return it, okay? So what goes in here before we go any further? Well, we need a for loop on our commands, right? So for let command of commands, just like this. And inside of here, we're going to use a switch for that command, okay? That command is going to be one of 3 things. It could be more. So we try to leave the door open to that, okay? But right now it is going to be a case of back, right? A case of forward, just like this. Or our default, if it's neither of those things, we're going to assume that it's the URL, okay? And this is jumping around, there we go, okay? So right here, we can actually do that. We go tab.back, just like this, not a problem. We need to break out of that because we do not want it falling through and doing the forward and default, okay? So same thing here where we go tab.forward. Come on, do it right. There we go. Break again. And this one is tab.go, okay? And for that, we will actually send in the URL. We don't need a break on this one because it's always the last one. The default should always be the last thing, okay? But with these, we are in really good shape. This is all we need for our main function body. Everything else happens up here. So let's take care of that. We have the back, okay? The back is going to be this dot number sign index. So inside of the class, inside of the instantiated instance of that class, we can access those private properties, okay? And in fact, I'm going to use this one a lot, so I'm going to grab it again, okay? That's going to be equal to this dot index less than equal to, what is it? 0. Sorry, I forgot what that was. So if the index is either 0 or -1, right? Then we leave it where it is, and we just return this dot index, okay? If it is greater than that, then we return this dot index -1, okay? And in fact, we do the same thing right here. So we're going to grab that again and paste it in. But instead of this dot index being less than equal to 0, we want to find out if it is equal to this dot history dot length -1, okay? Because we're 0 indexed, but our length is not, right? We always have to subtract the 1, even here. So right now, if we had something in here, that would be index 0, but our length would only be 1, right? So we need to make sure that that lines up. Brilliant. That's what we do here. If that's true, then we just return whatever the current index is, right? Whatever that high watermark is, that's what we send back. Otherwise, we go index +1, okay? So back and forward are taken care of. Excellent. That means we just need to sort out the go command, okay? And for the go, we use this dot this dot history, almost got that one wrong, history dot splice. And the cool thing about splice here is that it will allow us to do an in-place change on history, and it will allow us to do that from anywhere inside of that array, including an empty array just like this one, okay? So we get 3 pieces of data in here, okay? The first one is the index. So we go this index, just like this. We go +1 because we always want to operate on whatever the next index is, okay? We don't want to operate on -1. We want to operate on 0, okay? And then we want to delete, so from wherever that index is, right here, we want to delete everything to the end, even if there's nothing, right? Even if there's nothing, we still go through the process of deleting those to make sure that we get everything, regardless of how many there are. I'm going to set this to infinity, which means that if we had 1 in there, if we had 10, if we had 100, if we had 1,000, right, in terms of our entire history, it would take wherever we are and delete all the way to the end, right, and just get rid of it. And then what are we replacing with? What are we replacing it with, right? That's the third one. That is our URL, okay? And again, this works for all of that. So it'll work for an empty one. It will work as a push, right? If all we're doing is adding on to the end, it will work there. And if we're doing any sort of branching logic from inside, it will work there, okay? It will blast away everything from from that point to the end, and then replace it with our new current URL. Okay. The other piece of this go command is that we need to update the index. The easiest way to do that is just to go this dot forward. Okay. We already have that function. We don't need to recreate this logic, because what happens if I go, you know what? Every time I increment, I want to increment by 2. Well, I'd have to do that in 2 places if I added this line up here, right? I don't, like, that's it. This is a terrible example, but you can hopefully see how having it in one place means that I only need to change it once, which means that it just works everywhere, okay? Now I do want it as 1, so right there. And if I got this right, everything should work. Let me take a quick look. What did I miss? History.splice. It's always something, isn't it? URL not defined, but I did send that in. URL not defined. Go, oh, not this URL. This is command. My bad, okay? Always something silly, okay? But there it is. So we have the back, we have the forward, we have the command, right? And we have a way of accessing our history and our current index. And we did all that using this class, tab history, okay? Which we just created. It didn't need a constructor, but we did add some private properties, right? The index and the history. We added a way to update our history regardless of where we are along the lines. If we're all the way back at 0, right? Whatever that first URL is, and we type in a new URL, then it gets rid of everything after that first URL and adds that new URL, right? Or if it's an empty array, it still works. It just works, okay? A way to go backwards, a way to go forwards, but only in as much as the array itself allows. So if we're already at the beginning, we can't go back any further. If we're already at the end, we can't go back any further, okay? And then these getters, because everything in here is supposed to be private, okay? Now, again, the great thing about this is that regardless of what I do, let's say I had a second tab open, right? Which means that if I go and grab all of these, just like this, these 3, and I add in 2, well, it still works, right? It's a different set of data. I have no way of proving that to you, but it's a different set of data that gets the job done, okay? Going back, making sure that it stays that way, right? And as an added bonus, the thing that I really like about classes is that we can chain these together. So imagine this. We have this command, right? We go down here and we go return this. This is the magic for chaining things. So we return this, and on this one, whoops, let's go back. Return this and return this. This already has a return, and this already has a return, so we can't do anything there. But if we return this in all of these inner methods, okay? Now, if I really wanted to, I could do something like this. So right here, I created a new window in this case. I called it window 1. This right here is example 1, okay? So we have freecodecamp.org /learn and back, right? Which is this .org/learn back. And then we chain them. So we go, and then we go, and then we go back, okay? And I'm going to leave all this in here because this doesn't matter, but I need to change these 2 tabs to be window 1. And now what happened? Well, everything is broken except test 1, right? So that chaining still works, which is magical, right? I really like classes for simple things like this. It makes these so easy to get into, okay? Now, obviously, having one pass doesn't work for us, so let's go and fix that. Getting rid of this right here, changing it back to tab. In fact, I can leave everything in. It still works, but I'm not going to. I'm going to comment that away just to make sure, okay? And that's it, right? So to recap, we created that class. Again, private methods. They keep people from mucking with your code, right? From messing about. You cannot change this from outside of the class. You just can't, okay? We have some methods in here. If we wanted to, we could add more. So as an example, this line here, window1.go, that could be an automation, right? And maybe inside of here we have an execute, and we pass in some sort of a function, and it runs that code on this website and gets back data, which then gets funneled into something else, and then we go somewhere else and do some stuff, right? We can build into this. It's very flexible, okay? So that's why it's this way, the back, the forward, and most of these are testable, right? Like we can instantiate tab history and just test back based on the data, right? We can just test forward based on the data. We can just test go with some data, okay, with some mock data. And all of that should allow us to get a history and an index, right? I said those backwards, but it should work, okay? So we can also test all these and make sure that they are in a good place, okay? And our main body function, the body of our main function is pretty lean. So hopefully that too. Again, not every solution, just one good solution, right? I like to think that this is pretty good. But if you disagree, or you found something surprising, or you found another solution that you want to share, put it in those comments, okay? I do like to read those. Otherwise, today this has been Browser History, and I will see you tomorrow.